old bell. Big old bell.
If it's home,
The eye for fashion. We're all giving you phones.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, new phones for everyone. Yeah, exactly. All right.
And we're going to ask you guys a question.
Well,
All right, great.
There's that moment where we have to look around and be like, okay, who's starting? How are you? So we want to stick with the taking turns.
I think we should stick with the taking turns.
So she wants us to take turns, and I feel like she's earned it. Do you want to go first?
You can go first.
It's up. Are you sure?
No, by all means, go first.
Well, I always start with just a sort of softball question with, with the new season starting, half season, however you want to define that, what's the sort of major events we're looking forward to? Where are we at? What are the fans going to be excited about?
I mean, look, they'll be excited all the way through.
Right.
I think season 7 is the second half is such a roller coaster emotionally, and I think, I love the first half, but I always say, like, we love the first half, get ready, and always buckle your seatbelt for the second half, because it's just such a roller coaster, and it's just so much jam-packed. As people know, we took 2.1 parts of the books and jammed them into one season. So it's, I expect there'll be tears. I don't know as much laughter, I wouldn't say this season, but, it's very exciting. Yeah.
Great.
Yes, and there are places where people may be dead and they may not be dead. Okay. We don't know. So, you'll find out.
All right.
Mostly.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. To read mine.
She's very specific.
It's the teacher in me. I'm like prepared. Okay. We see the return of several OG characters and also the return to iconic locations this season. How is it being back in Lollybrock with so many core characters?
I mean, I think it's always fun when you go back and you get to see people that have died off, or whether you get to bring them back in some way, or and also Leary. I mean, certainly one of the characters everyone loves to hate, and so just for us personally, it's amazing to have those people back on our sets because we miss them. But I think for the fans, it's just exciting to see these characters that we love, and you feel like they've been gone for so long, and certainly getting back to Scotland for Scotland when we've been doing Scotland for North Carolina for so long is really exciting for us and our department. We're always like, oh, thank God, we're not trying to make the Americas with this, but yeah.
Great.
Stupid question. I'm so nervous.
It's okay.
Are you Brianna Gabaldon?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the PR people are very bad about telling us who's sitting down at our table.
I'm sorry.
Even though we know Maril and Diana, but sometimes that we don't. Sometimes
Yeah,
you
this
get a
is
lot
Diana. I'm going to introduce her.
Oh,
So
yeah.
who's written all the books.
Yeah.
One day you answered me a tweet. Was the best day of my life.
Oh, well, thank you.
I want to know how important is to you keep the contact with your readers, with your fans, and how us help you to write, to find new lines or new stories, or say something. Oh yes, this reader have write about this character, about this story. So yes,
Sure. Well, yeah. Well, I've I started online social media in 1985, just IBM, XD, and so forth. And CompuServe. CompuServe is where I actually got started writing seriously. I was a scientist in my previous incarnation, but I always wanted to be a writer, and that's where I started. And I actually was not going to show anybody anything I was writing because I was too afraid. But then a man asked me. Well, what he said was, someone was discussing pregnancy. He said, I know what that's like. My wife's had 3 children. And I laughed. I said, yeah, I've had 3 children. Anyway, I ended up posting a little piece that I had written in which Jenny explains to Jamie what it's like to be pregnant. And so everybody said, what is this? This is exciting. I'm like, oh, because, first time anybody actually likes what you're writing. And so they egged me on to post more. And so little. And so lately I've expanded. I still keep my, it's now the Lit Forum because CompuServe has vanished. But, I've got that, and I don't go on X very much anymore because it's X and it's too confusing. But I still have a big Facebook account with like 800,000 followers. So I put up my little pieces there mostly. but then other pieces. And I enjoy the feedback I get. Sometimes it's really helpful in a mechanical sense, in that someone will say, well, your French punctuation is wrong, and I'd say, great, tell me what it is. Or I'll ask somewhere, I say, look, I'm writing something set in this part of Georgia, is the dirt red there? And someone will say, no, it's brown, it's red over here. And I was like, good. Because, it's factual stuff, so there's always this nice feedback going on. Because you get that many people, somebody's going to know what you need to know. Mm-hmm. And so, it's a two-way street.
Since we are at New York Comic Con, I do want to ask a fan-focused question. Obviously, this show is so beloved. The fans really are passionate and show out for it. What has been your personal favorite fan memory? Whether it be, someone saying they felt represented by a character, someone feeling seen through a storyline, or just anything at all that stands out.
I don't know if there's one specific. I think for me, it's. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Totally my... I'm so sorry. I forgot there was no video.
I don't know if there's one specific memory that stands out. It's more that I think we've just been so embraced by the fans, and even in the first time we had a fan event that was before we'd shown anything, so many people showed up. We had like 2,000 fans at this LA event, and I thought, oh my God, if they're going to show up before they've ever seen anything, imagine once we're out. And they've stuck with us for 10 plus years, and we always say you can't feed enough info to them. And I work on other shows for All Mankind, and we don't have the same thing over there. And I think you don't appreciate that till you realize that that's not usual. And I think they love Diana, they love these books, they love these characters, and I love the fact that they found each other in this community, and friendships that have been made, and it's just certainly there's negatives sometimes, but I would say 97% is positive, and it feels good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You like people to appreciate what you're doing, and when you do something that's essentially creating things out of thin air, to have someone appreciate that is.
I guess my question is, you both have worked so hard. You created the characters and you've brought them for us to all physically see. How's that journey been for you as you're gearing towards this?
For me, it's been kind of career changing. I mean, I think that's something we talk about with the actors all the time, that for most of us, and Matt Roberts, our showrunner, it's been a career-defining series, and I had kids during this series. So many people had big life events during this series, and I think that's why you can't help but entwine it with your feelings about the show. That's why it's so meaningful to all of us. It's been such an amazing experience, and being in Scotland and with our crew. So for me, whenever someone asks me to describe it in one word, I always say grateful, because I'm so grateful for this experience. It's been hard, and there have been a lot of ups and downs, but I can look back on it and be like, wow, I'm so lucky that we had this.
And I know the fans have loved your book from beginning to end.
That's great, yeah.
Can you tell me, how does it feel to have, just watch your characters grow, and then also to see them on screen?
It's very exciting, to see what's happening on the screen, because, as they say, the books are the books and the show is the show. There's a lot of overlap, but there's a lot of, novel things that happen in the show that don't happen in the books. Sometimes I'm thinking, wow, that was a good idea, and sometimes I'm thinking, oh my God, what made you do that? But they usually have a good reason.
So leading off of that, actually, that kind of led into my question of just sort of, I'm curious what the marriage is like between your side of things and your side of things, because of what you just said, right? You have to change things for Hollywood, we know that, but you're obviously very involved in this show, so what's the meeting of the minds like? What's the process? How do you guys decide, discuss it? What's that process kind of like?
Well, they made the very intelligent decision at the beginning to include me and stuff, so I was not, out bitching about everything they did,
right.
Because I saw what they did, and in most cases I can see why they did it,
Yeah.
Sometimes it was a great idea, sometimes it was a good idea, sometimes it was just a necessary thing that, you had to be doing.
Right.
And mostly it's that a book is like this,
Yeah.
and they can't fit even one book into 8 seasons, let alone 8 books.
Right.
Or 10.
Yeah.
As the case may be.
Sure.
Yeah, so, I knew that going going in, so yeah, I was prepared. But mostly it's communication. They talk to me, I talk to them. I send them very blunt.
Yeah, it's very blunt.
I can't be any other way.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
That's good.
It's my, I'm autistic. This is the only way I communicate.
Okay.
But slightly, just slightly. And so they hired me as a consultant, which is even better. They pay me to criticize their work. And also they invited me to write scripts. In the third season, I think.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's deeply fascinating. Not only is it fun, but I also grapple with the same challenges they do. How are we going to fit this in here?
Right.
And they send me, well, this is what's going to happen here, and then I need to turn it into a workable script.
Right.
And then they fiddle with it.
There you go.
Yeah. And I've always said about Diana, she's so generous about, I think, unlike some authors, she says the books are the books and they're mine. And the show is your guys's, so I understand. You know what I mean? I think she gets why we have to do things, and she might not always agree, but she gets it. And I love the fact that she's confident enough to say the books are mine. So and they'll always be. But like when Blackjack, we wanted to maybe keep him alive at one point, and she was like, absolutely not, and we were like, okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I could at least explain why not.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I get it.